A long time had passed since Lancelot had been taken prisoner by the four queens. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, and the knight was finding himself increasingly engulfed in a wave of loneliness and frustration. The freedom he once experienced was now a distant memory. He spent the hours roaming around his cell, trying to keep his body and mind occupied. He exercised with the rage of a caged lion, fought against imagined enemies, and relived past battles in his memories. But nothing would dispel the distress of imprisonment, the longing for Camelot, for the Knights of the Round Table, and above all for Guinevere. Despite his suffering and uncertainty, Lancelot stood firm in his decision. He would not give in to the queens. He would not double-cross his vows and his love for Guinevere. Freedom was of no value if it came at the cost of his honor. However, Morgana would not give up on her plans. Obsessed with Lancelot, she resorted to all her magical powers to win him over. She conjured up spells and incantations, trying to influence the knight's mind, to detect his weaknesses, his deepest desires. The sorceress intently observed his mind, searching his thoughts, dreams, memories, and then she spotted it. She noticed Guinevere's image shining brightly in Lancelot's heart, a deep and unshakable love, the source of his strength and endurance. Morgana maliciously smiled. She had finally found Lancelot's vulnerability. Now she knew how to turn it to her advantage. With a cunning plot in mind, she set about using Lancelot's love for Guinevere as a weapon, to tamper with him, to shatter him, to finally have hold of him. As Lancelot was withering away in prison, an unexpected force worked in his favor. Eloise, a young lady in waiting, secretly admired the knight. Moved by his story and outraged by the wrongdoing of his confinement, she decided to help him. Eloise was gifted with a shrewd intelligence and a brave heart. She had been working in the castle for years, moving discreetly through the corridors and understanding every corner of the fortress like the back of her hand. She watched Lancelot from a distance, in awe of his resilience and courage despite adversity. Eloise crept into Lancelot's cell, bearing a stolen key and a daring plan.
Sir Lancelot, I have come to free you.
Surprised by the young woman's appearance, Lancelot eyed her distrustfully.
My name is Eloise, and I can no longer stand by while a noble knight like you rots away in this prison. I have come to help you escape.
Touched by the young woman's courage and generosity, Lancelot felt a spark of hope rise in his chest. How? The queens are powerful, and this castle is guarded by spells and loyal servants.
Trust me, Sir Lancelot. Wear this cloak. It holds a fairy spell, and will help you hide in the shadows. I know the secret passageways and weaknesses of this fortress that not even Morgana could detect. Follow me, and I will lead you out of this place.
Thus, led by the valiant Eloise, Lancelot darted through the dark and labyrinthine corridors of the castle. They dodged sleeping guards, uncovered secret passages with Eloise, using her knowledge of the castle to protect them from danger. With every step, Lancelot was overwhelmed by the young maid's fearlessness and wit. She was not just a guide, but an unexpected ally, a guardian angel leading him through the darkness. For what felt like an eternity, they spotted a dim light at the end of the tunnel. As they emerged at the exit, Lancelot took a deep breath, feeling the fresh air of freedom inflate his lungs. Thank you, Eloise. I'm now free again. I will never forget your bravery and your kindness. How can I ever repay this tremendous favor?
And I will never forget the day I helped free the magnificent Sir Lancelot of the Lake. But I need you to help my father, King Bandis.
Bandis was a righteous and honorable king, but his power was endangered by enemies and rivals who lusted after his lands. Lancelot resolved that he would use his knightly skills to defend the king and secure the safety of Eloise and her people. A few days into his journey, Lancelot reached the kingdom of Bandis. He announced himself to the king, revealing his identity and connection with Eloise. Surprised and grateful for the renowned knight's presence, Bandis received him with honors and offered him hospitality. During the banquet in his honor, Lancelot became aware that the king was gearing up for a tournament where he would defend his title of nobility and his kingdom against ambitious opponents. Given the chance to fulfill his promise to Eloise, Lancelot offered to fight as the king's champion.
"Sir Lancelot, your presence here is a gift from heaven. With your courage and skill, I'm sure we will win this tournament and ward off the enemies who threaten my kingdom."
True to his word, Lancelot got ready for the tournament. He knew that he was not only battling for Bandis, but also for Eloise. The day of the tournament, Lancelot stepped into the arena with the assurance of a true champion. His helmet shone under the sun, and his armor cast an invincible glow. When his name was announced, the hearts of the knights trembled, as they had already heard of Lancelot's reputation as an undefeated knight. He met each opponent with courage and skill, taking them down one by one. He kept calm and focused, using his experience and skill to outsmart each opponent. As Bandis' champion, Lancelot's victory in the tournament meant that the king kept his title and had his honor reinstated in the eyes of his suitors. The crowd burst into applause, and the overjoyed king embraced Lancelot in gratitude.
"Sir Lancelot, you are a true hero! You have saved my kingdom and honored the memory of a noble knight. I will be forever grateful for your help."
With a pleased smile, Lancelot replied, "I have merely fulfilled my duty, your majesty, and I have kept my promise to your daughter." Lancelot once again proved his nobility and loyalty, honoring his word and upholding justice, even in distant lands and on behalf of a young woman who risked it all to save him. After winning the tournament, Lancelot set off again, aimlessly riding through forests and plains, when he spotted an up-and-coming knight in the distance. As they rode past each other, the knight greeted him with a courteous gesture, but he was also carrying some unsettling news. Queen Guinevere had been kidnapped. The news hit Lancelot like a thunderbolt. Guinevere, the woman he loved in secrecy, was in danger. A rush of urgency overcame him, and Lancelot galloped as fast as he could towards Camelot. The quest to rescue the queen became his life's mission, and Lancelot, fueled by love and loyalty, was ready to face any danger to save the woman who dwelt in his heart.